The Auction Encounter. The late afternoon sun stretched long shadows across the dusty floor of the old barn, now quiet except for the creaking of worn wood and the occasional shuffle of boots. The auctioneer wiped sweat from his brow and adjusted the microphone, his voice rough. "Final lot of the day. Male German Shepherd. No papers. Condition critical." A hush fell over the sparse crowd. In the corner of the barn, a steel cage held a dog who seemed barely alive. His coat was patchy, scars crisscrossing his ribs, and flies drifted lazily around his raw wounds. His eyes were hollow, empty, not frightened, just gone. A few of the handlers snickered, whispering he wouldn't last the night. Elena Carter, 25, leaned against a beam at the back. She hadn't planned on buying anything, just tagging along with a coworker to escape the monotony of her apartment. But something about that dog held her gaze, frozen. The emptiness in his eyes reflected a fracture she knew too well. Time slowed, the noise of the barn softened, and all she could see was him, a creature broken, yet still stubbornly clinging to life. The auctioneer glanced at the crowd, saw no bids, and exhaled. "All right, starting at $1. Elena's voice rose, steady. $1. Heads turned, murmurs rippled through the room, some amused, others incredulous. "She just bought herself a problem," a voice muttered. She ignored it, signing the papers with deliberate calm. They loaded him onto a trailer with casual indifference. He didn't resist, couldn't. Limbs hung loosely, his spirit barely present. One farmhand tilted his head. "You sure about this? He won't make it past the weekend." Elena didn't answer. As the truck rolled along the gravel, the dog coughed softly, collapsing fully on his side. Elena twisted to the back window, eyes tracing his clouded gaze. If he's still looking, he's still trying. No one had ever fought for him. No name, no history, just a forgotten shadow left to fade. She folded her hands in her lap and whispered nothing. That night, arriving at her property, Elena opened the trailer and crouched beside him. "All right," she murmured. Lifting him gently, she carried him to a small shed she'd prepared, soft towels spread across the floor. The dog flopped onto them without resistance. Water, soft food, cleaning his wounds, she did it all quietly, sitting nearby and listening to his ragged breathing. She whispered to him, as if speaking to someone far away, "You don't deserve to end like this." His ears twitched at her voice.
The first days of care. The following morning, Dr. Samuels arrived, his old wooden box of supplies in hand. A retired veterinarian with patient eyes, he assessed the dog thoroughly. "He's alive because something inside him won't quit," he murmured. Elena nodded, voice calm but resolute. "I don't need him to live long. I just need him to have a chance." Days passed in quiet routine. Each morning, Elena walked barefoot to the shed before coffee or conversation. The dog, she'd begun calling him Bruno, watched her now, lifting his head to track her movements. Cleaning wounds, soft brush strokes over mangy patches, ointments applied with careful precision. The work was slow, meticulous, almost ritualistic. On the third day, Bruno licked her hand once, a fragile whisper of trust. She stayed still, letting her hand rest on his head longer than before. On the fourth day, she opened the shed door and froze. Bruno was standing, legs wobbly, body trembling, but he was upright. He hovered near the food bowl, sniffing, cautious. Then he began to eat. Elena's chest tightened, shock and reverence mingled. For the first time, Bruno was asserting his presence. He was choosing to survive, to fight. That night, she added supplements to his food, and when she reached to touch him, he leaned just slightly into her hand. "You're fighting," she whispered. "Bruno, that's your name now. Strong, brave, like you."
The awakening of strength. Recovery didn't happen all at once. Some mornings Bruno's tail wagged faintly, ears perked as if aware. Other mornings he barely lifted his head, burdened by the weight of healing. Elena persisted, patient and consistent, humming old songs as she brushed his patchy coat, sitting with him longer after meals. Slowly, the dog began exploring the small fenced yard, steps clumsy but deliberate, sniffing, stretching, claiming space he had never allowed himself before. On one afternoon, Elena watched from the porch as he trotted across the grass, not fast, not elegant, but deliberate, alive. The sunlight caught the coppery sheen of his coat, a glimmer of something he had once been. Dr. Samuels observed, crouching at the gate. "Well, I'll be damned. Steel in him," he muttered. Bruno approached him calmly, no fear, tail relaxed. The old vet's hands brushed along his ribs, checking muscle tone, healing scars, and warmth returning to his skin. Then he paused near a hind leg. "Elena, come here," he said quietly.
The secret revealed. Elena knelt beside Dr. Samuels as he parted the fur. At first, it appeared as a pale scar, but sunlight revealed faded black ink, a tattooed ID. Military, elite security training, specialized programs. Bruno had been trained for a purpose, chosen for precision and loyalty. He wasn't a mistake, he was made for something. The next morning, Dr. Samuels returned with records tracing Bruno's lineage. Champions, elite canines, trained for police and security work. The facility had gone under, dogs sold carelessly. Bruno was one of them, discarded yet resilient. Elena absorbed the news quietly, hand resting on the tattoo. For the first time, she saw more than a dog recovering. She saw a story fighting back into existence.
Redemption and purpose. By midsummer, Bruno had transformed. Thick, shiny coat, muscle filling the hollows, confident posture. Every morning he patrolled the pastures, alert, precise, memory and instinct merging. Neighbors noticed. Photos circulated, offers arrived from academies and security firms. Elena declined every one. Bruno had a home, a name, and a story. Some afternoons she sat on the porch, watching him roam. He would return, pressing his head gently against her leg. No commands, no purpose other than presence. Bruno had been overlooked once, close to being erased, but Elena had simply stayed. In that quiet dedication, both had come back, one heartbeat at a time. He wasn't just surviving, he was living.